Hey there, this is Iman at Philly Wholesaler Chick with Set Me Up for Success, our Insider Circle Mastermind group coaching video call here with, as you can see on the screen, Pam Douglas, and the topic that we're going to be discussing today is eviction lists and how to mine that list. Target that list and mine for goal to generate more leads. But before we jump into that, I'm going to have Pam share a little bit about herself and her background and how she got started in real estate, how long she's been investing in real estate, and then we'll get into the topic. So Pam, could you share with everybody? Well, Pam's from Houston, right? Pam's from Houston.
Right, yeah, I'm from Houston, the best city in the world. And I'm a relief pharmacist in addition to being pretty much a full-time real estate investor. I've been investing in real estate since 1999. 1999, I bought my very first investment property from my parents. They were motivated sellers at that particular time. Anyway, fast forwarding a few years later, I started learning how to do short sales, lease options, all types of investment strategies. My main thing right now is wholesaling and short sales. I don't try to go out there and do every different type of niche there is to get. I've just learned to do wholesaling and short sales.
Right.
And evictions is one of my favorite ways to get leads, in addition to just the typical absentee type owners when I'm looking to wholesale properties.
Okay, so eviction list, right? Exactly. The topic of what this video interview rather is about. So,
right.
For somebody, because you and I talked, Pam, typically I know most people, the conventional way to target eviction lists is through, landlord-tenant court, correct?
Correct. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not what you do, though. That's not solely what you do, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. First of all, I just kind of want to give a synopsis, overview real quick, if you don't mind, of how the evictions work. And I'll just talk about Texas because that's where I am.
Right.
First of all, typically we automatically assume that if it's an eviction that's been filed, it's always a landlord-tenant type situation, which isn't always the case. But anyway, typically if you're dealing with a landlord-tenant type relationship, every single month, of course, the tenant is supposed to pay the landlord. Well, if that tenant doesn't pay, here in the state of Texas, we have the right to give that tenant a 3-day notice to vacate. And it varies from state to state. I think some states, counties is like 5 days. They give it a 3-day notice to vacate. After that time frame, within 3 days, if that tenant has not moved, then the landlord will then go to the courts or the precinct where evictions are filed in that particular area, and they'll do what we call file a lawsuit. It's like a petition. And that tenant will then be served with a notice saying, hey, someone has filed a lawsuit. There's going to be a hearing set, and you basically need to show up for the hearing. After the hearing, that person has so many days to either move or pay up if the tenant and the landlord agrees. After that time frame, if the tenant hasn't moved, we do what we call a writ of possession, which is basically the landlord going to the court saying, hey, this tenant, after the eviction hearing, we need them to move. So the constable or the sheriff will physically remove that tenant from the property. And again, it varies from city to city, state to state, county to county. Like I was saying earlier, typically we always assume that it's a landlord-tenant relationship. Sometimes it's a situation where it's a divorce, where one spouse is evicting the other spouse because they've been awarded the home. There are times when for an example, if you deal with foreclosures, when the lender forecloses on the property and the original homeowner has not moved out of the property, then the lender will follow an eviction to remove the original owner. It could be a situation where the highest bidder at the foreclosure auction buys the property and they have to evict the landlord the original homeowner from the property. It could be a situation where it's a roommate and you evict them. It could be a situation where it's a family member. So the point I'm getting at is when you start looking for evictions, not every name that you see or not every case that you see is going to be your typical landlord-tenant type of situation. So you have to be able to filter through those different leads. Where do you find the leads? Number one, I think one of the great places to go is a courthouse. And I know a lot of times we assume that we're given the runaround at the courthouse, but there's a lot of information that you can get at a courthouse. If you're looking to be a landlord, you can actually go to the area where you plan to buy properties and just go to the area where you go to the annex or courthouse where the evictions are filed, and you can actually go to the window and just ask, hey, do you guys have any eviction dockets on the list today? And they'll say, oh no, we normally do those on Tuesdays and Thursdays, whatever day it is. And on those particular days, you can just go in and just sit in on the hearings just to see what's going on, so you have experience. And one of the things you'll see, a lot of times it's apartment landlords that's evicting tenants. Sometimes the landlords have a realtor that's their property manager. Mm-hmm. But one of the things you can do is when you see that it's an individual to individual, after that particular court hearing is over, you can actually go and approach that individual and say, hey, John, I see, you guys, just filed an eviction. I just saw the hearing. Not sure if you're looking to sell that property. I know you probably, is short for time right now, but here's my card. If you're looking to sell that property or any other property, here's my card, give me a call. And just kind of strike up a basic conversation. I've even met property managers. I know this one particular guy here in Houston. He files an eviction every single month on his tenants, but he never sells his properties because his tenants, they're always going to pay the rent plus the back rent. Plus the late fees. Mm-hmm. So it's extra revenue for him. So his manager say, hey, look, he's not going to sell anything, but he's going to file an eviction every single month. Another place, even online, like GoSection8.com, you can find a list of landlords. Just about every landlord in every area has filed an eviction on someone. Okay, that's a place where you can get a list of landlords that have to file evictions. Even your housing Section 8 office in your city, a lot of times you can go there to get a list of landlords who has properties to rent out. You can, a lot of times their address, their phone numbers, that information is right there at your fingertips. So it's just a matter of calling those landlords and say, hey, look, I see you're looking to rent this property at 123 Main Street. Hey, didn't know if you were wanting to sell it instead, or if you have other properties you want to sell, or if you want to buy properties. Another way, and I kind of stumbled upon this, is actually going online in your city. And just basically Googling, the city of Dallas, Texas, evictions, or the county, Dallas County, list of evictions, just going into the databases and getting this information online. Some areas it's online, and some of those areas it isn't online. I was lucky here in my area to be able to have access to every single eviction that's filed. And there are times like today, I can actually go into that database and pull up every eviction that's been filed in court today. Mm-hmm. And we just did a mail out this past weekend of landlords who filed evictions, say back in October. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten a few phone calls from that mail out of landlords who may actually be interested in selling their properties.
Now, can I just stop you for a quick second, Pam? I know you're on the roll.
Sorry.
No.
Yes.
It's awesome stuff. I just want to interject for a moment. Like, for example, you talked about that. Like, I know, we were saying about, it depends on what, it varies from city to city, county to county, state to state. And I know for myself, just in going to landlord-tenant court, when I went there to ask them, for that kind of information, unfortunately here in the city of Philadelphia, you got to give them a name, either the landlord's name or the tenant. There's no list that they're going to give you because, unlike Baltimore, so for anybody that's viewing this video interview that lives in Baltimore that doesn't know, you can merely or simply go down to the landlord-tenant, wherever the landlord-tenant court is, and just ask for what they call the pinks. And, I've seen folks who just walk away with like a stack of pink slips. That's like a gold mine. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think that's, it varies. And I don't want anybody to get frustrated. It's like, oh, well, Pam said X, Y, Z or Iman, blah, blah, blah. And, it's not a simple process because I've actually tried to do it, not only in my market, but other markets, and it's not as simple. So that's all I really want to say. So.
Yeah, and also, like, if you go down to the courts or wherever your evictions are filed, you can just ask them, a docket. Maybe they can give you a docket list for today, that particular day. They may do it, they may not. Because to me, if you sit in at the hearing, you're going to hear and see the same information. So it's not like it's a big secret.
Right. Which I think is a very good point, Pam, about, okay, like with my situation here in the city of Philadelphia, I may not be able to just go up to the window and get a list and then hand it over to me, but I can ask them for the docket list for that day. It's a start. Better than nothing. So, that's a really great suggestion. Thank you for that.
Right, yeah, and like I said, you could go up and ask them, because like I think sometimes they have certain days of the week they may just have the evictions. I'm not sure. Again, you'd have to find out, and this is just part of doing your due diligence, doing your homework. Some of this stuff, because I've had to evict people, before. Some of this stuff you just learn just about getting out there, and everything is not on your laptop. Everything is not online. Sometimes I'm not going to say we get lazy, but we get so comfortable we don't want to leave the house. Right. But it's a busload of information. Like if you wanted to deal with divorces, go down to the courts, divorce court, see what the heck is going on. Probate courts, go down there and see what actually transpires in these particular courts. Have a field trip, take a field trip. Excellent
tip, Pam, because, and I'm going to, share another little gold nugget. I think here in Philadelphia, because it's been a minute. I think it's been a few years since I went down there, but I believe Tuesday is the day here. If not Tuesday and Thursday, so I'm not sure. But hopefully, for those who are super motivated, I just gave you a tip there. I believe you can check. And Pam, Pam too has given quite a few nuggets. What you can do. It's just you gotta take action on the information that's available and that's being shared with you. So that's what separates those who have moderate success, and those who have super success at this business. So,
continue. And another thing, because a lot of times we focus on wholesaling, and it could be the traditional wholesaling. But say, for an example, I did a mail out, I think it was back in December, and a landlord called me. He was not looking to sell that property, but he said, hey, I'm not looking to sell, but can you help me find another tenant? So if I find a tenant, then, hey, do I get the first month rent? Can I have the first month rent?
Absolutely.
That's $800 or whatever it is. I'll split it 50-50, whatever. That's a way to still get paid on a deal, because not every deal is going to be your $5, $10, $15, $20,000 deal. Mm-hmm. How can you help that homeowner and you get paid.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, you're right. So,
yeah, I mean, and also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's funny because hopefully folks who have been, you know, who have signed up, on the event page, for about 24 hours, I made available, an audio recording of, you know, how to, you know, go about and monetize, just what you're talking about, that, you know what I mean, this types of, to, you know, generate more income in between deals by offering tenant placement for landlords. You know what I'm saying? So typically, like you said, how that works is that, you know, the agreement is that you get that first month's rent from that tenant for placing that tenant with that, for that, landlord. So, but I want to say something. Sorry not to cut you off. The Section 8, I mean, I know from experience that I've done it myself. You know, they'll give you the list, with Section 8. So I've used it to either buy property, and or, sell property as well. So that's another way to use that list. But yeah, you know, it's a overlooked and I think sometimes underutilized, resource. You know what I mean? So. Right.
But anyway, I mean, then also, you know, finding a buyer. I mean, you know, because first of all, some of these landlords, you know, they're in the eviction court all the time. You know, those people buy property. Those are your buyers. Those people can be your cash buyers. For an example, we did a cold call because I can get access to some of these people's phone numbers, okay? Because they put it on the information. But anyway, on the information, entry sheet. Anyway, we called the guy up. He just so happened he was the highest bidder at the auction. And we were like, okay, are you looking to buy more properties? He was like, yeah, we buy 6 to 10 properties a month. So not only can you buy property, you can put these people on your buyers list.
That's right. Absolutely. So,
you know what areas they buy in because you know where they're evicting. So,
right. Absolutely. Because that's exactly how, you know, well, I used it, you know, it was a 2-prong approach with that Section 8 list, either to call to find out whether they were looking to sell or were they looking to buy. So, which is a question we should always be asking folks if we're, you know what I mean, like if you're calling for rent signs and things like that, you should always be asking that question. So, but anyway, continue. So you can continue. So I guess your process, Pam, how you've been able to really laser target the way that you go ahead.
Well, what happens is because I'm able to pull my information up online, what I have to do, because the list is going to have every single eviction, apartment complex, and so on and so forth. So what we do, we scrub the list and we take just just the regular individuals. We take that and we put it in a spreadsheet. The ones that have phone numbers, we cold call. Those that we don't have the phone numbers for, you know, we just do the typical yellow letter for. But if it's a landlord that we've done a cold call on and they're not interested in selling at the time, then what we do, we just put those guys and gals in a follow-up file. And a lot of times they'll ask, you know, well, how did you get my number? How did you get this? How did you get that? And I said, well, you know, it's public information. You know, you guys, you know, filed, you know, an eviction on someone and you fill out a form and your information was listed, you know, on that form. And that's pretty much the way we do it.
All right. So, but I mean, you use this site, correct? I mean, you were telling me, you know what I mean? Typically, you go online and you're able to.
Right. You can Google. You can go to. Like I said, you can go to the city of Dallas or Dallas County evictions. Okay. And I mean, if you want to try to do that now, we can.
Yeah, we can do that. We're going to, I'm going to share the screen. So just be patient, everybody. And the funny thing while we're sitting here doing this is that, Pam was able to do something for me last night to find a whole nother lead source. Right, Pam?
Yes, ma'am.
When we were, looking how to do that here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you did. You found a couple. There was a couple of different channels, so to speak, for you.
Right, absolutely. So, okay, I'm sharing a screen, Pam. So, is this you with the? Hold on one second. Is that your desktop? That's your desktop up, or is that mine? 1 second. Wait a minute.
Is that yours or mine?
I want to share with you. Can you go to? Hold on 1 second. Can you look at the top, Pam, like where it says Uhu video call at the top of the screen that we're on? And there should be a drop down. It should be a drop down menu. You'll see add to call, view, and actions.
Yes, ma'am.
So click the actions, okay? Drop down and then click share screen.
It says share desktop. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it said my desktop is being shared. Okay. All right. So I can do what I did?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see your screen now, Pam, so go to work. So to speak.
Now you see Pebbles on the front of my screen there?
Yes, I do see Pebbles and all your icons.
Okay. Let me,
your conversation with them. Okay.
That's a secret. Hold on a minute.
Right.
Let me get another tab. Okay. Let me just type in, hold on a second. Let's say Dallas County evictions. Hold on a second. Okay, like here they have like the justice of the peace. That's like the actual court. There's a judge that presides in these different areas. Mm-hmm. But anyway, you'll see Dallas County, what did I do? We went to, let me see, there's records, birth certificates, criminal cases, civil cases. Let's see. That says coming soon. Hold on a second. Okay. Online record search. Oh man, here's probate cases, huh?
Wow. See?
See right there? Oh man.
This wasn't even about that call. This video interview wasn't even about that. So hopefully you guys who were watching this that live in Dallas County.
Hold on a second. Okay, let me go back. Give me just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was playing around with this last night. There's all kinds of stuff out here.
Right.
How do I? Here we go. It says me back. All right, let me just let me do another one.
You got a space in there.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here's mine right here. Okay? Right here, Harris County. Can you see that?
You just stopped sharing the screen, Pam.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Okay. Let me go back.
Mm-hmm.
Go to actions. Hold on a second. I do apologize.
No problem.
Screen shared as a premium benefit page. What? Okay, is it not sharing anymore?
No, I'm looking right at you, so. Okay, did you hit the actions button, actions drop down menu at the top?
Yeah, it says share desktop.
Yeah,
now
so that's what you gotta do. You gotta do that. Share desktop.
I did that, and then it says now screen sharing is a premium.
Okay. Oh well. Well, anyway, I guess on your end that's what it would be, because I don't know, with Ubu.
Okay.
But I have credits, but I can't, that doesn't work for you because I'm not at your house sitting in front of your computer, so. But.
Right. Okay.
I guess if you could.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But if you could maybe step us through what somebody, would do if they were to search for that information online.
Sure. Say, for an example, for discussion purposes, here in Harris County, we would, like I said, we have precincts here in Harris County, and it's the city of Houston is the 4th largest city in the United States of America.
Right.
And we have so many different little annexes or areas. So I can't remember how many different precinct areas we have. So I'm in Sugar Land, Richmond, Texas, which is Fort Bend County. We have a precinct. So anyway, what you would do is find the precinct that you want to market to. You then go in and put the date that the evictions were filed, the file date that you're looking for. You put that date in and you click on search. And it'll give you, there are times it's, hundreds and hundreds of evictions that have been filed. And again, you have to sort out the list versus the landlords, regular landlords versus the apartment people. And then after like I said earlier, after we scrub the list, we just do our mail out. And the ones that, we cold call, and if they want to sell, they want to sell. If they don't, we put those guys in a follow-up file. But anyway, that's just it. It's just that simple here in Houston. I know like another area, you have to have a name, okay, in order to know, in order to pull up a list or to pull up that record, you have to have a name.
Right.
So it just depends on your area.
Right. Absolutely. So so that's been working really well for you, right, Pam? So.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
actually, we closed within the last one, we closed 3 deals from the evictions. And 2 of those were from just going to the court.
Okay.
Going to the court hearings.
You said this was in the last, last 3 months, you said?
No, 9 months. 9 months.
Oh, 9 months. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, this is a list that you market to on a monthly basis or weekly basis or whatever, right? Whatever your process is, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I know that this video interview would be great for a live Q&A, because I'm sure people are going to have questions about
Sure.
Which brings me to the whole setmeupforsuccess.com as a mastermind member. These are the types of things, these are the type of calls and trainings and things of that nature that will be going on for the members of our Insider Circle Mastermind, where we'll have Q&A and questions and, get your answers, people getting their questions answered. And I know that, and we're going to be able to share freely within the mastermind things that we normally wouldn't share publicly. That's the benefit, and one of the many benefits and value of being a part of a mastermind is having people like Pam, who actually is a mastermind member of the setmeupforsuccess.com Insider Circle. So, and I know, Pam, you and I had discussed prior to, the video interview, what you would be willing to do for folks with inside the mastermind group, that you would be able to share links with them, correct? I mean, you explained that whole process of what it was that you said that you would be willing to do for folks who were members of the mastermind.
Right, yeah, just share the links. Yeah, share the links and show them where they can go to get the information online if it's available online.
Right.
And if they're here in Houston, they have a gold mine. I didn't say that.
Absolutely. So, and we didn't necessarily want to go into too much detail about that.
Right.
In this video interview. However, once you join the Insider Circle Mastermind, setmeuppforsuccess.com, you definitely, it's stuff like this. This is, this is just a bird's eye view of, the type of content, not only just the content, I really don't, it's not just the content, but you have you will then have the ability to raise your hand and say, Pam or Iman or Lo or, other folks who are well versed and experienced in a certain area of investing. And again, this mastermind group is not going to be solely about wholesaling. We're going to be digging in and diving in deep on, a lot more advanced strategies as it pertains to real estate, not just real estate wholesaling alone. Because actually, for those, our first mastermind webinar training is going to be about mobile marketing and how, what mobile marketing can do for your business. But however, that's a whole nother this was about evictions, but, just to give you an idea, the type of content, that will be available to you as a member of our mastermind group. So Pam, I really appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else that you may want to add before we wrap things up that would be helpful to folks when targeting this type of list?
Well, one thing, just don't get frustrated because for me, I'm going to tell you, I was up to be able to find it here in Houston, find the list. I was up to I think 3:30 one morning. So don't get frustrated. These homeowners or property owners are just like any other list of homeowners that you target. But to me, they're better than the absentee owner. They're an absentee owner, but they're a little better because they have an issue. It's an eviction, just like your regular homeowner has a foreclosure. So they may be a little more motivated. Some of them are, some of them not. You don't know. It's a numbers game. And sometimes if you catch them at the right time.
Right. And so you won't know. You won't know until you market to them. So, hopefully, folks that, for those of us who are watching this video interview that, you'll take, what, Pam has shared on this video interview and begin implementing it in your business, to, maybe bring in more checks per month, Some of this stuff is not glamorous, like going down to the courthouse or going on the days, if not you, somebody else. But, hopefully you got somebody in there, that can get this information for you. Definitely if it's something that's not available in your city or your county online, because it's not available online here. And so, to wrap this up, to then maybe find out what it was that Pam was able, these types of leads, the kind of information she was able to find for me online here in the city of Philadelphia. Join the mastermind. So anyway, that's it. Again, Pam, if there's anything else you want to add before we wrap this up.
Just take action, make it happen.
Take action and make it happen.
That's it. Just the bottom line.
Exactly. So,
gotta get your hands dirty.
Right. Absolutely. There you go. So again, I appreciate you taking the time out, Pam, to do this video interview for our members.
My pleasure.
And as I said, Pam is already a mastermind member of our mastermind group. So you join, you get to connect and interact with somebody like Pam. So that's it, folks. And so just stay tuned for the very next video in this video series that Lo and I are making available to you guys. Hopefully, as always, this information will affect your bottom line. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Bye-bye.